Welcome to the series of Relational Database Management System. Myself is Fatima Rafiq, Assistant Professor, Abidan Amda Senior College, BCA Department. We have started with the series PLSQL. We have covered more topics, multiple topics, that is procedure, function, trigger, cursor. Now the last topic today is the trigger. We will looking into what is trigger, how to declare it, what are the type of trigger, and what is how to create the trigger. Trigger is nothing but the stored procedure in the database which automatically invoke whenever the special event in the database occur. Trigger can invoke whenever the row is inserted on the specific table, whenever the certain table column are being updated or deleted. A trigger is fire whenever the DML statement like insert, delete, update is executed on the database. Trigger is trigger automatically when an associated DML statement is getting executed. Trigger is what? Trigger is a set of a statement which is actually written and getting stored on the database. Whenever there is any event is happen, at that time the trigger will get executed. These are some special events for which we will write the trigger. Writing the trigger will include the writing syntax, create or replace trigger, trigger name. Then before, after, we will be having three keyword, insert, update and delete. For which we want to write the trigger, we can specify on the table name. For each row, when condition, this is a condition for which particular scenario we want to fire a trigger. Then declare, it will include the declaration statement. Then begin, it will contain the execution section, and then exception, which is able to handle the exceptions. Then the type of trigger, whenever we are writing the trigger, actually it is have a multiple type, row level trigger, and then statement level trigger, before trigger and after trigger, and then we can have a different combination of it, so it is called as combination trigger. A row level trigger is fire once each row for that is affecting by the triggering event. Like for example, if the delete operation is defining the trigger event for a particular table, and if a single statement is getting deleted, the 5 row from the table is actually getting deleted, but the trigger will fire 5 times, one for each row. So this is a row, like row wise the trigger is getting fired, so which we say that it is a row level trigger. Then we have the statement level trigger. A statement level trigger fire only once for each statement. Using the previous example, if the deletion is defined as a trigger event for a particular table and a single delete statement delete the 5 row from a table, the trigger will fire only once. Though it is giving, though the 5 statements are getting deleted, 5 rows are getting deleted, but it will only fire once. And then we have the before trigger, which will fire before the event, and then after trigger, which will fire after the DML statement is getting executed. And then there is a combination of trigger when we combine before and after a statement, row level and statement level together. The variable which is used with the trigger is new and old, because here we need to check the conditions. So the new will refer to the new value of the column, and old will refer to the old value of a column. It is represented by, like new and old, they are having a same syntax, new dot column name, and if it is a old, it is written as old dot column name. Whenever we want the error message to be printed with the trigger, we will be having a two option. One, we can use a raise statement, other we can use a raise application error. This is a inbuilt function which is used for the error messaging. It take two parameter, error number and error message. So error number is a number and error message is a message which we want to print. Now we will see the trigger example of trigger. Here we have one trigger which is based on the student table. So it take the statement create or replace trigger with trigger name. So it is we are writing the trigger for checking the age. Before insert and delete, we want to check it on the student table. For each row, now what we are writing, declare invalid age, it is our exception name, the name of exception which we want to declare. Then begin, if new age is less than 0, whenever the age which is given by the user is less than 0, we want to fire and trigger which is a invalid age. And then in the exception, what we want the message that age should be greater than 0. Let me just take this code and then I'll be pasting it over here and just enter. So this trigger is actually getting created. This trigger will fire only whenever we are inserting the value in the student and age is less than 0. Like for example, if I am inserting the value and let's take value number 4, value number 3, and I am putting the age as, let's take 10, okay, 20. So here the value is getting successfully inserted. But what happen if we put the value of a age as 0? So let me just put here 4. This is, I am writing as 0 and then inserting. So here see, it is giving me a error message that age should be greater than 0. Thus this is the way we can write the trigger for a specific event. We can write it for the delete command also, before, after, whatever is our choice, we can able to write it. I think this is clear to you. If you find any difficulty, you can write in the comment box. Here we ends with the chapter, that is PLSQL. Thank you.